Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. It's been long since we discussed the shows on this page, and I'm happy to have you today. So, some of you may know already that I have left Europe almost a year now, and I've been in Canada all this while. And I've not been here because I had to settle things, you know that. And now I'm happy to be back, and we are going to have a lot of things to discuss together. First of all, I would want to thank you for following me all this while, all these years, and subscribing. And if you haven't, please subscribe now because there is more that you don't want to lose. Myself and my family have moved to Canada over the last couple of months, and we have settled in. And but I know most of you want to come to Canada too. If you're not already here, then you want to come. I've been getting messages from all of you. I want to travel. I want to travel. For those in Africa, in Ghana, in Nigeria, I want to travel. I want to travel. Those in Europe, I want to go to Canada. What is in there? So this very moment, I want us to discuss what to expect when you are planning to come to Canada. So this video is more of introductory in nature. We're going to talk about what you should know. Don't make a mistake and don't be overconfident. There are things you should know. There are things you don't have to worry about. And then subsequently, we will discuss the issues one after the other as we go along. One, Canada has opened the doors. Everybody is going to Canada now. So you will not be the first person to come to Canada. I mean, this year, we are already in October. So for those going to school in September and October, in August, September, October of 2023, many people have arrived from different parts of the world. Many, 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 many people. Personally, I have met new people who have come from Ghana, Nigeria in the last few weeks who just arrived and are settling in. And they are all over the country, from the Atlantic coast to the Pacific coast to the north and south, everywhere. So now it is much easier than before to go to Canada. It's much easier than it used to be before. Previously, you were not likely to get a visa. Now, as you might have heard, Canada has given over 1 million visas and permanent residence permits to people who want to come to Canada until 2025. So the doors are wide open. So people are applying for PR, PNP, everything. But in this video, I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about those who want to come to Canada temporary. That is those who want to come to study or come to work on open work permit or closed work permit, and what you should expect. So first of all, because everybody is going to Canada, that there's a timeline. The time for applying for the visas is getting longer. That means that if you wish to get to Canada in January of 2024, by now, as I speak with you, you should have your visas applied already, because a lot of people on the queue, even to get an appointment for the fingerprint, the biometrics, it takes a long while to get that. But before we talk about getting biometric appointment or getting appointment to apply for visa, how do you get here? How do you intend to get here? You have to think about it, sit down, plan it, think about it. I want to move to Canada, say in January of 2024. It's 3 months away, maybe less. How do I want to go? Do I want to go as a student? Do I want to go as a worker? Do I want to go as a family of a student? Do I want to go as a family of a worker? These are things you have to think about. And then what do I need to get there? So if you want to go as a student, then it means you have to apply for university and get admitted, accepted, and then maybe pay the deposit and apply for the visa or the study permit. And if you want to come as a worker, it means you have to apply for the job, get accepted, then the job gives you the LMIA document, they sign it, and then you submit it for the open work permit. All these things come in different forms. So you should think about these. What is the line? What procedure does it take? So if you want to study, then what do you want to study? Do you have a previous education? Maybe you have a previous degree, then you want to do a master's degree further, you want to do a PhD, or you want to do a postgraduate diploma, or maybe you just want to do a diploma with your high school diploma. All these are factors you have to think about. You should do this. Sit down, think about it, and see which route will best work for you. In choosing the school, which in the later videos we will discuss choosing schools in Canada and how not to put yourself in trouble. Which school do you apply for? Is it any school that you find online? Is it the one that is in the big city or big town or a big province? Or is it a school that is cheaper? Is it a, there are different things you have. Don't just take it to chance and say, oh, once I get there, I'll make it. No, think about it before you actually apply for the school, because once you get here, whether you go to the school or not go to the school, it affects your life for at least 5 years. Even if you come to do a year diploma program, it will affect your life for about 5 years before you can get out of it. So if you want to come through the school route, which is now the easiest for most people, think about it. Don't want to go to Ontario. Even if you're in Ontario, I don't want to go to Toronto. Don't want to go to Ottawa. Don't want to go where? Or don't want to go to a small town. What are the advantages? And if I'm going to school, will I be able to pay the fees, the tuition fee? Because some of the fees range from $1,000, $10,000 until $20-something, even $30,000, depending on the program at the university or the college. So think about it. Do you have enough money to fund an expensive education? Or you want to get to Canada and then pay your fees? I will not advise that. If you think of going to Canada and work and pay your tuition, I'm sorry. It is possible, but it is extremely difficult. Very, very difficult. At least you should have your first year money with you before you leave your country of departure. Some money to pay the tuition, some money to pay for your accommodation, because accommodation is extremely difficult to get in Canada now, because the people are more than the housing we have, and that is expensive to live. Some money to take care of yourself for the first few months before you get a job. Fortunately, now students are allowed to work unlimited. Previously was 20 hours per week during the academic session and 40 hours or more during holidays. But now, because the country is in short of people or of staff, of workers, they have opened for students to work unlimited as long as they honor their educational obligation. So it's possible to work and study. But before you choose a school, how much is the fees? If the fees is $20,000 a year, can you pay it? And are you supposed to pay all at a go? Does the school allow you to divide it into pieces and pay them maybe in three bits? If it's $15,000, how much are you supposed to pay as deposit before you get a letter to go for the visa? How long will it take for you to pay for the rest when you arrive in the school? These are questions you should ask, because if you don't, once we get into the country, you are going to have a problem. Sometimes you'll be frustrated, you will leave the school and go and find a job, but then it affects your future, because if you don't go to the school, because you're given a document, student permit, that is as long as your study period, maybe 2 years diploma program, 2 years. So you think, oh, I can leave it and go and work somewhere. When it expires, because you didn't finish the school, you don't qualify for postgraduate diploma, postgraduate work permit. So what do you have to do? It means you become an illegal. You have to, work hard and get someone to, sponsor you, like a spouse, or it complicates your life. It is better for you to know what you want to do before you set off from wherever you're coming from. Very, very important. Don't give it a chance. If you're coming through the employment route, what do you have to do? Look for a job that has a LMIA license to bring you in. LMIA is Canadian way of, in the UK they call it COS. There are not every company can bring it to Canada. Those companies or the organization that brings you as an employee should fall in the category of employment that the country sees as priority, that requires more people to work in, but there are not enough local people to do. I mean, it cuts across farmhands, restaurant, engineering, cybersecurity, whatever. It cuts across, but you have to make sure the company that is promising to bring you in has that license. So labor market impact assessment certification, they have it so that they can bring you in. And once they give you that letter, if they're qualified, you can go and get your work permit and come in. That work permit, if you come in with this work permit, it's restricted. You are going to be stuck with this person or this company until the expiry of that document, because they brought you in. It's just like many countries. If an organization employs you and bring you into the country, then you are kind of they are your sponsors. So just like a university brings you in, the university is your sponsor. So you cannot leave the university and just do whatever you want. If you want to change the university, you have to apply for new permits. In the same way, if you want to change the employment that brings you in, then you have to change the job and apply for new work permit with the company that has employed you. And that company must also have the LMIA certification. So I know a lot of agents or people, there's a job in Canada. My friend, it is true, there's job. But there are people in Canada who don't have jobs and they are seriously looking. So if you're not careful, someone will just dupe you. Don't be a victim. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's another route. If you're coming to work, I'm going to take time later to explain all the different education, employment, and then what the last part I will talk about in this video is people converting their visitor's visa into work permit or study permit when they get to Canada. So like I said, after COVID or post-COVID, Canada is struggling with or was struggling with people to work. Nobody wanted to work again, or few people wanted to work, so they wanted more people to come in, especially in the care and the health sector and some other engineering and trucking or truck driving area. So they opened up and said, okay, because of COVID, people got stuck in the country. They couldn't, when COVID came, people had come to visit, they had visited visa, they were in the country, there was a lockdown, nobody could get out. So the government agreed that, okay, if you're in Canada and you're on visitor's visa, then if you can get a job that has the LMIA I mentioned before, that will employ you, then you are allowed to convert your visitor's visa into a work visa so that you can work. Because without the work permit, you cannot work. Even if you have 10 years visa, you cannot work. You're not allowed to. People, do it illegally, but if you are caught, you will not have a good time at all. You'll be banned. You'll be deported and banned from the country. And I don't think you want to do that. So because they opened up during the COVID time, now they have still moved on with that regulation until now. And many people, agents and other people are advising, go and take Canadian visitor's visa. Once you get to Canada, you can change it. It is true that the government allows it, but is it easy to get a job? That's a question you should be asking. What skill do you have? What job do you want to do? Where do you want to get that job? Which city are you visiting? These are factors you should think about before you even set off from wherever, whether from Ghana, from Nigeria, from wherever in the world, or even from Europe, with a visitor visa, with a mindset of converting it. You should think about it very, very well before you do that. Because if you go to Canada, I know people who have arrived in Canada for almost 6 months on visitor's visa, and they have not found a job to change their residence permit from work permit, from visitor visa to work permit. Because the jobs, nobody wants to employ you. When they want to employ, they ask you, where is your document? You tell them, well, I have a visitor's visa. Now, it means that if they are LMIA certified, they have to apply for you and go through. Some people ask for money, bribery and corruption. And bribery and corruption is illegal in Canada. Maybe everywhere is illegal, but you can do it freely elsewhere. Here, it is illegal, but people do it. But how much it's a risk they are taking with you. They have to prove to the Canadian government that there is nobody in Canada who can do the job that you are going to do. So they think it will cost them money, so they're going to take a lot of money from you. People are paid a fortune for that. And I don't think you have a fortune. That is, you came in to make your life better. So you don't want to spend money that you don't even have at the beginning. What if the job doesn't go as planned, right? So make sure that if someone is advising you to come into the country, Canada, with a visitor's visa and converting it into work permit, you know what you're going to do. You have a plan. Maybe the job is set for you already. Don't leave your country and get here before you look for the job, because it will take you forever. Maybe you have a job set for you that when they have promised that when you get here, they'll help you convert. Then it's maybe it's okay with that. But if you're not coming in to search, I'm sorry, you're really going to have a big issue with that. And you're coming, whichever the reason, if you don't know anybody in the country, then bring a lot of money, because accommodation in all over the country is really, really getting expensive. Cost of living is getting expensive, all because of COVID, right? And other geopolitical issues. So I'm going to end the video very soon, but I'm trying to tell you that before you come to Canada, you should know if you're going to go to school, you're going to work, or you want to convert your visitor visa into a work permit. If you're going to do so, where do you want to go? Which city? Which school? How much are they charging? How is their payment plan? How much money do you have? How much time can you work and study? Think about it. If you are going to work, what job can you do? What job can you do? Which company is promising to give you the document to work in Canada? Are they legit? You can do a background search about them so that they don't dupe you. And if you get here on visitor visa, how quick can you get a job? Because the more you stay here and you don't get a job after 6 months and you don't leave the country, and or without extending your stay, even if you stay more than a day without extension, legally extending your documents, you become illegal immigrant. And once you are getting out of the country, you have overstayed, you are going to have issues with immigration. These are what I want to discuss with you today. I'll come back again and then we'll talk more about specific issues. So today is a general discussion about Canada and what you should expect when you want to go to Canada for any reason, especially if you want to stay on a long term. Like I said, this discussion or this video is not for PR applicants. It's only for temporary visa and temporary residents in terms of study and work permit holders. Thank you very much for your time, and I will see you again in the next one. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe, like the videos, and share so that other friends and colleagues who are interested would hear. See you again soon. Bye.